Final judgment on the last play in the Super Bowl. Everybody's calling it the worst call in NFL history. Wrong! I'm going to tell you, not only was it not the worst call, it wasn't even a bad call. What is this? But first, let me show you a quick picture here. This has become my new favorite sports picture of all time. I'm going to explain at the end why. Now, that's, of course, the last play that you're looking at. And speaking of which, let's get to why it's not such a bad call. Number one. Everybody says, oh, man, you got to get rushed with Marshawn Lynch. You can't risk throwing an interception. Here's what you don't know. A fumble is as likely as an interception in the goal line. In fact, this year, teams have fumbled at the goal line more than they have thrown interceptions at the goal line. So it's not any riskier to throw a pass than it is to run the ball. So you're fundamentally wrong about that. Point number two, a pass on second down means more running plays, not less. Pete Carroll is right about that. If they run on second down, they have to use their last timeout, in which case they cannot run on third and fourth down. If he passes on second down, well, then he can run on third and fourth down, okay? So now you can assume that the run would have scored a touchdown in the first place, but Marshawn Lynch did get stuffed earlier on a very critical short yardage third down play. So that's just an assumption you're making. You're actually being more risky, not less risky. You're being less in favor of the run than Pete Carroll was, in a sense. So you better rethink your assumptions. Finally, the element of surprise is preserved. Now, this is as far as tactics are concerned. Look, if you run on second down, that's far more likely to happen, and you're not going to catch people off guard. As it turned out, you didn't catch the Patriots off guard anyway, but you're just talking about the results of the play. Now, and if you run on second down and you get stuffed, well, you know, and the other team knows that you got to pass on the next two downs. So you lose the element of surprise completely. Now, when you're not talking about tactics and you're talking about how you play the game, that leads to point number four, which is that they make brave play calls, Seattle does. Most teams would have sat on the ball at the end of the second half and scoring instead of driving down the field, let alone scoring a touchdown instead of kicking a field goal with 6 seconds left. All year long and all game long, they've made brave calls, so you can't fault them for making a brave call at the end, which is actually perfectly sensible and not nearly as risky as people think it was. So overall, I actually think that it was a good play call, and Russell Wilson's been a great quarterback all throughout. There's no reason why you can't trust him with one more pass. As it turned out, the Patriots outplayed him on that one play, and now why? We go back to that picture we showed you in the beginning. So this is as the play is starting, Russell Wilson's about to throw it, and you see Malcolm Butler, who made the interception, is very far away from the play. But he's about to go where the ball is, in the immortal words of Wayne Gretzky, right? And except he said puck. Obviously, I'm paraphrasing. So Butler, first of all, was undrafted. He's a rookie at the age of 24. You probably know this by now. But what you don't know is he studied the tape over and over again, and they practiced that play over and over again because they know that that is one of the plays that Seattle calls on the goal line. And he'd been beaten in practice by their backup quarterback, Garoppolo, for the Patriots, on that same exact play. So he spotted the play. He had his fellow defensive back jam curse at the line so that he did not get picked. They know it's a pick route. And he ran to the spot of the ball and made the play. And of course, this is the result, the final end result of how that play ended. I love Malcolm Butler. His nickname is Scrap. And so here's a guy who worked so hard to get to the NFL, who worked so hard to make sure he was prepared in that one spot in that one play. If he was not that prepared, and by the way, if Belichick had not earlier in the game taken out Kyle Arrington for getting beat over and over and had not adjusted in the middle of the game, Butler wouldn't have been in there to make the play in the first place. If they hadn't done all of that, guess what? The play would have worked. Seattle would have won the game anyway, and right now we'd all be talking about what a genius Pete Carroll is and how great the Seahawks are and how brave and bold they are. So the reality is that call was not only not the worst call in NFL history, it was actually a pretty good call. It's just that Malcolm Butler, Bill Belichick, and the Patriots were just a little bit better on that play and just a little bit better in the Super Bowl. And that's how you win the game. And that's my final judgment.